everyone, it's Kelly, and for those of you who didn't know, I moved this week from our house in Illinois to we are staying in a temporary home until we can buy a new house, and so we are living in my parents' condo, which is like their second home in Ohio, and so we just settled in yesterday. So I'm still figuring out where I'm gonna film while we're here, you know, how the lighting's gonna work and all that stuff. So I'm trying out different places. And today my video is my TBR, so the books I'm gonna read for the Contemporary-a-thon. And this is a readathon running from September 17th to the 23rd. And it's hosted by Natasha from My Reading is Odd, Chelsea from Chelseadolling Reads, and Julie from Pages and Pens. And really, it's a really open-ended kind of readathon because you can read anything in the contemporary genre, which is a huge genre, or actually almost kind of like a non-existent genre because it's where you kind of lump in a lot of things that don't fit in other genres. And there are some challenges, and so I'm going to try to like do things for the challenges, but I might double up some of the challenges because I don't think I'm going to read 7 books and there's 7 challenges. But if you know me, you know I'm a mood reader, so I'm going to tell you a bunch of different books, but I might end up only reading like 4 that cover all 7 challenges. So the first challenge is read a book with orange on the cover. The second is read a contemporary with a dark or spooky or taboo kind of theme. 3 is to read a diverse contemporary. 4 is to read a contemporary in a non-traditional format, so that could be like a graphic novel, ebook, audiobook, however. And number 5 is read a book with your initial somewhere on the cover. Number 6 is to read a new to you author. And number 7 is to read a 5-star prediction. So I've got, I think, 8 books here to show you. And like I said, I might only read like 4, but when the mood takes me, these are one of the ones I'm going to read. So for the first challenge of reading a book with orange on the cover, I have this book, which is First and Then by Emma Mills, and this is described as Pride and Prejudice meets Friday Night Lights. So it's a contemporary YA romance, and I'm assuming there's going to be some football. I've heard a lot of people lately talking about this book and making it sound like it's pretty good. And then the next one for a dark kind of contemporary, I'm going to read Elmet by Fiona Mosley. And this one was recommended by Jasmine from Jasmine's Reads, and it was a Man Booker Prize finalist, so it might fit into literary fiction, but it's modern day, so I'm going to count it as a contemporary. And I don't know a lot about it other than it's about a family who kind of lives in the middle of nowhere, and their family has chosen to live kind of away from society. And she put this on her diverse books list as well, so I don't know what the diversity is in this since I haven't really looked into it much. So this could count for both the dark read and the diverse read. And then the next for, oh, hold on. I got confused where I'm at. Oh! That's why, because the next one I don't have a physical book for, and that is the one with a non-traditional format. I'm not reading a physical book. I'm going to read P.S. I Love You by Jenny Han, and I have it as an ebook on Scribd. So I had started like the first chapter right after I read the first book, but then never continued. So I'm going to actually read that second book this next week, hopefully. Number 5 is to read a book with your initials on the cover, which this one I only have one option for because it was really hard to find one with my initials because my first name starts with a K, and K is not a very popular letter on books. I've noticed I got out 20 books to look at for this TBR, and only 2 of them had a K on the cover. And this is the one I picked. It has all 3 of my initials. It is The Method by Shannon Kirk. So the K is in her last name, Kirk. The A of my middle name is in Shannon, and then the W of my last name is in this little blurb down here. And this can also go for the dark read if I wanted to. This is about a 16-year-old girl who gets kidnapped, and then it turns out she basically turns the tables on the kidnappers and ends up they get more than what they bargained for. And I've heard this is really good and kind of flips the kind of mystery thriller kind of genre on its head and does something different with it. And then the next one is to read a new to you author, and I have 2 options for this. The first one is The Red Notebook by Antoine Lorrain. And this is a French author, and it takes place in Paris, and it's about a gentleman who finds a purse and wants to return it to its owner, so he goes through the handbag and the only way to identify the person is through this red notebook, and so kind of like invading the person's privacy, but while trying to return their belongings. And it's really short, so I thought that would be a good one for a readathon, and I've heard some good things, but I've only heard about 2 people review this, but what I heard was interesting, and since it's so short, I figured I'll give it a try. And then the other option for this is Signs Point to Yes by Sandy Hall, and this one I don't know much about it as well. It's a YA contemporary romance, but I was recommended this by Alyssa from Pucksandpaperbacks, I believe that's her name, and I thought, well, she recommended it, I'm gonna give it a try, and I love contemporary romance, so why not? And then the last is a 7-star prediction. I actually have 3 options for this that I'll just choose at the last minute. 2 of them are by the same author, by Emery Lord, and the reason I think that is because her last book I read, The Start of Me and You, was a 5-star read for me, so I'm just like making a guess that I would like her work. So I have both Open Road Summer and When We Collided. This also has orange on the cover, so I could switch it to that one instead if I wanted. And I don't really know much about these. I simply bought them because I really enjoyed her other book. But they are both YA contemporary romance, I believe. And her last one, it had a little bit of more like serious issues in it, so I think they might cover as well some more serious issues other than just romance. I'm hoping that it would be similar to that. And then the last option for a 5-star read is Tell Me 3 Things by Julie Buxbaum. I also don't know much about this. I bought this simply because the other book I read by Julie Buxbaum, which is What to Say Next, was a 5-star read for me, and so I just have been trying to buy books from authors that I've really loved a book I've read by them. So I didn't really like look at what this is about, other than it is another YA contemporary romance with some deeper issues in it as well. So all 3 of those are similar, so I'll probably just pick up whatever one strikes my fancy at the moment. So those are all the books that I am thinking of reading. Obviously I won't read all, I think 8 or whatever, but whatever strikes my fancy I'll pick up, and all these I want to read probably in the next month or so anyway, so I'll probably get around to reviewing them soon. I hope you guys are having a good week, and if you're going to participate in the Contemporary-a-thon, go ahead and write down in the comments below what is a book that you're looking forward to. Alright, bye!